This is the New Age podcast here. My name is Connor.
Hi, Montmar the Grand.
I'm Kyler.
And I'm Eddie.
Kyler's autistic. Anyways, today we're going to be reviewing movies.
My mom says you can't make fun of me anymore, Connor. You better stop.
Yeah, well, I don't care what your mom says. Anyways, the first movie we're starting out with is The Purge. It's a movie who had a lot of hype when it was first coming out. Anybody want to start us off?
Okay, my first problem with The Purge is the plot altogether. Because the government would actually let freaking people just execute each other just to get rid of... It's basically like a psychological thing, because the only reason that they do it is so that people can let out their inner demons on that one night, and they don't have to do it for the rest of the year. So it's basically just a psychological ploy.
Dude, I honestly loved their idea, because, okay, so here's the thing. Anybody out hunting is a crazy motherfucker. So get that understood first bit. Now, when you have crazy motherfuckers killing crazy motherfuckers, guess what happens? There's less crazy motherfuckers. There's just a bunch of dead crazy people lying around the streets. Also, it's killing a bunch of homeless people, which, who cares about them? They're not actually people. And it apparently was helping the economy. It was probably about money, but who cares in the first place?
I find it racist that the only black guy in the whole movie was homeless.
Yeah, I know. The only black dude in the entire movie was the guy who had no money at all. Miles, why are you cackling like a witch? How about you give us your...
I know, he sounds like a freaking pig.
Talking about the beginning, and Miles needs to stop having. See this here.
Miles is giggling like a little girl in the corner.
Alright, talking about the beginning, how they entered. Oh my gosh.
So Miles has entered an orgasm.
Anyways, okay.
So what we're talking about.
In the beginning, she, I guess, I don't know, neighbors, blah, blah, blah.
Okay,
There's
here.
One shot, there's one shot in the movie where you can see a guy sharpening his blades.
Oh yeah.
This guy, instead of, having a friendly neighborhood barbecue like the rest of them, he's fucking Johnny Psychopath killer.
Celebrating the day of the purge.
Just hey guys, I'm gonna openly sharpen my knife. Everybody watch me because I'm fucking gorgeous. So anyways, we start out watching a little tacky makeout scene because every single thriller horror movie has to have one girl grinding on one guy. It's just,
and then
it's obligatory. It has to happen.
The guy's just straight up he's like, I love you. And she's like, I love you. He's like, hey, I don't love you. Let's try something new because I love you is used too much. Let's growl at each other. Roar.
Yeah. They're just like, hey, we're both going to turn into cats while I shove my tongue down your throat. So basically what happens is she's like, okay, the purge is about to happen. How about you jump out the window and go home, right? So basically that happens, and a bunch of other shit happens. And the bitchy neighbor is like, hey, you sold us a bunch of new security systems, and you have a new addition to your house. Guess what? We bought that shit. You're gonna die. The next part, it goes in when the purge actually starts happening. Everybody's in the room, and the bitchy teenage daughter is like, can I go to my room yet? Thank you. And so everybody starts proceeding to walk in front of these glass windows. Miles, could you suck my dick? Anyways, somebody else talk because Miles isn't gonna let me talk.
Okay,
as I was saying, the movie had a lot of hype, I must agree. The trailer, when I actually saw it, it looked pretty incredible, but the movie
Miles, you just reversed us all backwards, you freaking prick.
Yeah, you shit.
What the hell?
You jumped back to
okay.
So here's the deal.
No, okay. Going with Miles right now. It looked pretty cool. And I like how, they look like they were getting attacked, but until they revealed more, it was just stupid.
What did I do
wrong?
wrong?
When they showed the kid opening it up, and that was the whole plot of the story.
That was really stupid.
Kid.
Yeah.
I love how because of that kid opening the door out of the kindness of his heart because he was trying to be Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, he caused the absolute slaughter of at least 20 people.
And his father.
I know, and nobody beat him.
Nobody
decided to punch the little fucker in
Nobody
the face.
took him over in the corner and tossed him around a bit.
Isn't that what the purge is for?
I know, the purge, literally, child abuse is illegal.
Yeah, nobody took him over in the corner and, whipped off the belt and just started spanking him across the face with it. Like the grandpa from the
You need to
Boondocks.
learn a lesson, like a broken rib. Literally, his daddy died because
of him?
Because he opened the door like a little retard.
And
But what if he didn't open it and they caught up to the house and they're like,
they wouldn't do anything. They would have just killed the guy and left, because they were upclass people too.
The ironic
they found a way to get into the house, even though it was fully guarded.
Guys, anybody find this ironic that the kid tried to save one life and ended up like making 20 or 30 people die?
I love how the super big security system was just taken down by a pickup truck and some chains.
I know, it's because it's supposed to look really flashy. He even explained it. He's just like, this is supposed to look pretty, but it does nothing.
Yeah.
That's like literally, this is the shittiest system we have.
That's like keeping a Corvette in the garage and never driving it.
We're going to put poop in your mouth and call it caviar.
Yeah.
So basically, it starts out with a little kid letting a homeless man in, who could possibly rape and kill his family, but he's not thinking about that.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
Kid. Another plot flaw is that they let this little kid know the access code to disable the safety thing. Like, son, if you ever want to fuck us over, here's the code. And he did. He was just like, I'll oblige. So, like, it's just so stupid. I can't stand it.
Since we're all talking about the kid's sanity should come into question as well. Because he took the time to take a plastic baby doll, burn half of its face and its arm off, and then just shove it onto a freaking RC remote controller.
It's not like they're poor and that was his only doll that he owned. He literally took the time to make that thing look freaky. And the fact that it was freaky serves no point in the plot because it wasn't even meant as a scare.
I know. He took the time to freaking grill that baby's face and then shove it onto a remote control car.
He was basically like fetus on wheels.
And how come his parents didn't care about? They're like, "Hey, you need to stop that."
I know, and the mom.
Let's not question our son's sanity.
It's scared. The doll thing scared his mom. So.
No, it didn't even scare her. She was like, "Oh, hi, Gunther."
No, its name's Timothy. She's like, "Put Timmy away and come downstairs and help me make the food." And then the little boy's just like, "Okay."
Not only that, but the baby should have been enough to question his sanity. But the fact that he's taking his vitals and writing it in a little notebook, like 12:47, my heartbeat was 68 beats a minute. What 11-year-old kid, instead of playing with G.I. Joe action figures and acting like he's shooting the faces off of other friends, is actually watching his family through an RC remote controller instead of actually talking to them.
I know.
And then, barbecuing babies' faces and whatnot.
Hey, but I do have to kind of, as soon as the kid started checking his heart rate and stuff, I thought it was going to be the whole cliche thing of this kid has heart problems, so the big problem in the movie is giving him his inhaler and crap.
No, basically, the problem was that every single family ran around that house like a chicken with their head cut off.
Especially the daughter. The daughter was just so distraught.
She was barely in the movie. She just wandered through the movie and got taken captive.
And then at the end, she finds a gun and then just shoots the last guy.
She finally shoots someone, and instead of being like, hey, maybe some other people are going to try to kill us, she just drops the weapon and goes to see her daddy.
Who freaking the little boy rips off his thing and then shoves it on the dad's arm so they can just hear the heartbeat for some reason. They want to know when he dies and stays dead.
Honesty, I find it funny how not only that the neighbors sell them out like, oh yeah, the black man went in there, right? And then all these rich people are like, no, we're totally not going to kill you if you open your door and throw him out. They finally caught the black man after hunting after him in the dark.
Yeah.
But then they all of a sudden got all moral, like, hey, we're God's prophets, and we want to help this guy out. Let's not kill him.
And they shot him, and then she took a letter opener and shoved it into the wound to get him to stop struggling.
I know, literally. She stabs him twice, and she's like, Billy, look at the monsters we become. Stop it. So basically, she's part of the reason why they almost died again, too. But then another part is that all those little shits are running through their house just breaking. But, only 2 or 3 guys had a gun. Did anybody else notice that?
Yeah, the rest of them had, axes and stuff.
Yeah.
Just axes and other stuff. It was kind of funny, actually, because they were just dancing through, and then they'd get shot by the guy. The guy goes full Rambo and takes out 5 people, and then lowers his gun, walks through his house like a normal person, gets stabbed right after this.
And gets kissed on the forehead by another man.
Yep.
That was fun. He's just like, thank you for an excellent purge.
But then after that, all of the rich neighbors are just like, they're just like, go in and they slaughter all of those teenagers who are going in there and slaughtering. And then they're like, all the people, the wife's just like, oh, thank you. I don't know how I can thank you enough. And they're like, don't thank us now. We're going to fucking kill you all.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, guys, tie him to a chair. So basically, all this happens when all of a sudden, Big Ben walks in with a gun and saves the day.
Yeah. And at the end, she freaking, 5 minutes before it ends, the blonde chick tries to grab her the gun and she freaking slams into her nose and slams her face on the freaking glass.
Somehow she was a dainty flower at the beginning of this. It's getting knocked over by a chick who could not have weighed more than 90 pounds. And then at the end, she goes full RoboCop and makes that chick's nose break on the glass table.
I know. She's like, did you not hear what I said? No more killing!
So basically, you can conclude that not only was the plot horribly flawed in there, and that everybody tried to do weak little morals and nobody cared for the characters, you actually hoped that they'd all die because every last one of them sucked, except for the dad who, died.
And the daughter, because she was hot.
No, you hoped she died too because she was just melodramatic. Yeah. She was just walking through like a ghost, just getting captured.
Alright, I give the Purge 2 out of 5 stars.
Yes.
Okay.
For shitty jump scares.
I give it 1.5.
9 out of 10.
2.5.
Alright, 2.5. Miles, you have anything you'd like to say about the Purge before we move on?
Just a disappointing delivery.
So, next item.
Okay, next, viewers, we're going to talk about After Earth. Yes. My thoughts exactly.
Another title, which Will Smith has tried to fling his son in there. He's trying to get his son to skateboard on his fame.
He's trying to get his whole family to skateboard on his fame. His daughter did that "Shake My Hair Back and Forth" song. Let's shake my hair back and forth. Let's shake my hair back and forth. When in reality, it's going in a full circle. It's not going back and forth at all. It's just going in a full loop.
The little talentless hack is like, Daddy, put me in a movie. He's like, all right, son. Basically, the kid has about the same charm, charisma, and acting skills as a wooden plank.
I should know, actually, because I did a movie once about pieces of wood.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
documentary.
Basically, the whole thing was just about the little boy, overcoming his fear and living up to his father's expectations after his oldest sister, who is, way much better than him in the field and better in the line of Call of Duty, gets murdered by one of the aliens, and he just sits there helplessly and watches at age 5.
You know, it's kind of funny.
What?
Mommy, I miss my sister. She was always better than you.
Yeah.
You were a disappointment, son. I say you should kill yourself. I'm not going to.
God and the law and order of this new government that they have is basically back in the 1940s where nobody did anything unless it was the dad's approval. At one point in the movie, little Jaden tries getting up and going to his room. He's like, I'm going to my room, and Will Smith is like, are you asking me? You're telling me. And Jaden's like, I'm going to my room. He's like, sit down! And then he just sits down. The mom's just like, Jesus Christ, it's like this every night with you two.
He pulls another pouty little adventure where he puffs out his lips and tries to pray that he can get female viewers.
Yeah, he was decent in Karate Kid, but in this one he tried to take a serious role in this one. In
he did.
Karate Kid, he was that quirky, fun, and smart-ass kind of kid. But in this one, he tried to take a serious role.
And it didn't work out.
And holy shit, it fucked so bad.
His dad... What really made me mad was this kid could not follow directions the whole movie. There was
I know.
At one point in the movie, there were all these monkeys and baboons and stuff, and the dad's like, "Don't attack, just sneak around them." What does he do? He throws a rock at the monkey's head, and then all these monkeys are just chasing them.
He decides to just lob a random rock.
Yeah, he just picks up a rock.
Dad, I know what's going on.
He just throws a rock at the head, and his name's Kataya. His dad's like, Kataya, run!
You know what? I bet you he wasn't even trying to kill the monkey. He just got jealous of the rock because it had better acting skills.
Yeah. Forget you, Rock, thinking you can out-rock me? Just throws it.
Yeah, you know what? I know why Jaden Smith wasn't so bad in Karate Kid. Wasn't there a lack of dialogue for him? He didn't talk that much, did he?
Yeah. He didn't.
He basically just made little grunting noises every time he hit something, and then when he broke his leg, he just gave out a wild cry. That's all I really remember. I don't remember talking him that much.
He gave out a wild cry.
Well, I mean, I remember it because they slowed down the footage, and all you heard was, Because his fucking leg
What?
got broken, and
I'm
everybody's like, "Oh my god, that's no fair."
Trying to contact his ancestors. What?
Call to his people.
And,
So,
god dang. Sorry for if you can hear my nose. I've got a cloggy.
it's okay. Don't apologize for your mucus.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares.
Anyway, and at this, they try to do like a lot of touching father-son moments because of the fact that he has to live up to his dad's potential and like get out of his father's shadow and stuff like that. So they try to do a lot of father-son moments, and basically, at one point, this dad explains the part like there's this technique because these aliens basically smell your fear. That's exactly what they do. They smell your fear. If you're scared, that's how they sense you. And the dad is like the best of the best, and he can do this thing where he has like absolutely no fear whatsoever. And he's explaining how he did it the first time to his son. And he's like in this water, and like the aliens like stabbed him in the arm, and he's like, "I don't want that in my arm anymore," and just rips the alien's arm off and stabs the alien with it.
So he stabs the alien with his own arm?
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the alien has a strong arm, then, or a sharp arm.
Yeah, and he's like, "I don't want that in my arm anymore." And these aliens are like arachnid, like white arachnid spider things. They're not humanoid at all.
Okay, so he takes the arm and he just like shoves his arm into one of their limbs and just starts attacking one of them.
Yeah.
Or he just like crawls back to their main hive with its head stuck on his head. He's like, "I'm part of you now.
Yeah.
I'm one with the aliens. Let's go back to the hive and take our people."
All right,
He starts leading them and he starts killing all the humans.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he doing? Is he trying to mate with them?
Yeah.
That would be.
Miles, Eddie, where are you guys?
Right here.
What?
You guys have been.
I'm here.
You guys have been quiet as two beaten orphans. Holy shit!
I haven't really watched the movie.
I haven't either.
Well, alright, we've spent too much time on After Earth. Okay, our next topic is Jack and Jill.
You didn't even give a rating on After Earth.
Oh yes, I give After Earth. I'm gonna give it -5 out of 5. No, I'll give it a 1 out of 5 just because of Will Smith is in the movie.
I'll give it a 3.5
Whoa.
out of 3.5
Because
out of
of
5.
Will Smith.
I'm going to give it a 3 failed acting careers out of 5.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
I'm
Okay.
gonna give it a 1 because of Will Smith.
Yeah, because of Will Smith, but that's just barely. Like Jaden's wooden hollow acting, like
Yeah, you're
destroys
talking
the whole
about
thing.
Jaden Smith, not Will Smith.
Yeah, I know, but Will Smith
he
is.
means like the only reason why it earned a star was because Will Smith was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He always wants to make his kids famous, and
It's not
wants to
working.
make his family the perfect.
I will not hear my
family.
All right,
You know,
here we
but
go. Okay,
he
guys.
doesn't realize that his family sucks and he's the only one with talent in it.
Hey. Yes. They suck at acting, but they're not bad people.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
bad people, but you know what? They
Will Smith
hold
needs
up
to.
public
Will
criticism
Smith
when
needs
they
to
ban
make.
themselves on the-
Will Smith needs to make love with his wife again, and have 2 new kids, and kill the first ones.
Mhm.
Make shitty music, shitty acting. Done. Case closed.
Yeah. How do you play?
So
How
that
do you
being
play?
said, let's
Just
go forth to the next thing.
yeah.
before
Okay. All right. The
people
next.
start
The
bashing
next
their skulls in
movie.
out of boredom.
The next movie you might have seen. Okay, so Adam Sandler is a really good actor in his old movies, such as Big Daddy, Longest Yard, Happy Gilmore, all those classics. But his worst one is, if it's not like Grown Ups 2, it's got to be Jack and Jill.
So, if you want to see a transvestite, what's his face?
Adam Sandler?
A transvestite Adam Sandler walking around as a woman, this is the movie for you.
Yeah, basically the whole
You
plot
know.
is Adam Sandler is 2 people in the movie. He's him and his twin sister. And basically his twin sister just comes up to visit, and all this crazy stuff happens because she's like super lonely because she used to live with their mom, but then their mom died. So she just comes up to stay with them for like a week, and then she just ends up wrecking everything.
So here's my biggest deal with Adam Sandler. He's like a cup of sugar. You know, a few teaspoons are nice, but if you drink the entire cup, you're going to get sick. What I'm trying to say out of that analogy is the whole fact that he is the entire movie is just bad.
Especially the awkward moment. It's not really awkward. It's just as awkward when you figure out, wow, he's talking to a feminine, dressed-up version of himself.
Yeah.
Throughout 3/4 the entire movie.
He has literally gone so crazy as to have dialogue.
And freaking no, get this. Okay, so what's his name? The Godfather.
Let's just say the Godfather.
God, I just had his name in my freaking head. And basically, the guy who plays the Godfather in The Godfather has a crush on Jill, and he like tries to get with her and stuff like that. And, like, yeah. And then
so
Adam Sandler
he's trying to have sex with a tranny.
Yeah, but Adam Sandler.
He noticed that there was kind of a forehead there.
Yeah, but then Adam Sandler, he wants this guy to go out with Jill so that he can get his so he can get the guy to act in one of Adam Sandler's commercials. So at one point in the movie, Adam Sandler dresses up like Jill and goes on a date with him.
Oh yeah, I remember that part. Isn't that the part with the awkward ass house scene?
Yeah.
My god.
God dang, man. I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
Well, don't worry about it for now. Go on, Miles.
The comedy was really stale as well. Adam Sandler probably expected this to be one of those, like, buddy cop kind of things, but he's doing something different, making two versions of himself.
Yeah.
But Jill was an annoying, blabbering idiot throughout the entire movie, pretty much. And I don't know if that was the character or not, but even if it was, or even if it wasn't, it would have been terrible as it is.
Yeah. At one point in the movie, she's in their backyard riding a jet because she won. She went on the Price is Right, okay, and she went to spin the wheel, and the wheel hits her in the back of the head and knocks her out. So to avoid getting sued, Drew gives her like a bunch of gifts, and she gets a jet ski and starts riding it in their backyard pool. And she like dips under the water, and launches out of the pool, and freaking crashes into a tree.
Like, is that supposed to be funny nowadays?
Yeah.
Just like random acts of destruction.
Yeah, I know.
Expensive things being destroyed.
That's pretty much what everything in this movie is. Jill is literally an act of destruction. She's like an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Just never stops.
She's like a small child, except an adult.
Alright,
form.
guys. I don't even
control herself.
I don't even think that this movie is worth us talking about it for more than 5 minutes. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about talking trash on this next movie. I give Jack and Jill a 1 out of 5.
I would give it.
I would
definitely give it a 0 out of 5.
1 Jack and 2 Jills. They subtract each other and equal 1.
Don't get convoluted with your rating systems.
Okay, here we go.
Crap, nobody wants your own metric.
I'm gonna give this movie a 0.5 out of 5. One of Adam Sandler's worst.
Yes. If it's not Grown Ups 2, it's this movie.
Yeah, Grown Ups 2 is also bad.
Okay, let's
so let's
go
move
with
on to our next thing. Movie 43.
No, not movie 43. It's silly. We got The Last Airbender to talk crap on.
Oh God, no.
Oh goody, we can go about this forever.
Oh Jesus.
The movie was just wooden acting. Everybody, you could tell these people like did not go to an acting class, and if they did, the coach needs to be fired.
Amateur actors.
These actors sucked.
So this movie is the result of walking around a poor, beaten downtown, finding orphans and offering them jobs in acting. See, the problem with poor people is they don't have any idea.
And then one kid happens to have cancer, so he gets to be played as the last Avatar.
Yeah, so they're trying to like play off people's sympathies, but people aren't sympathetic when the movie's just flat out terrible.
Yeah, and the whole time they were calling him. Okay, so I never really watched the cartoon series that often, but I watched enough to know that his name was Aang. But the whole movie they kept calling him like freaking Ong or something like that. Like it started with an O. That really bugged me.
It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I was so disappointed because I am a fan of the cartoon, as a lot of people are, and when I saw the cartoon for the first time, I'm just like, wow, this looks really stale. The animation doesn't look very good, first of all. It does look entertaining, but surprisingly, it's one of the best cartoons I've ever seen in my life.
You were pretty smart as a 5-year-old, goddamn.
Yeah, and when I saw the trailer to the movie, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this looks so badass. When he's in the temple, and then all the fire armies coming towards him.
Fireballs and ships and
that is
big sieges.
It looked
Look
awesome.
At action 24/7, and then it shows up this where you have a half retarded kid dancing around the prairie, airbending rocks and getting arrested.
Exactly.
Airbending rocks and getting arrested.
The child acting is so stale. On is terrible in the movie. Shit, what's her face? I haven't seen the cartoon forever.
It's obvious that the kid is half dead because...
Katara, yes. Katara and... What were you saying, Connor? Continue.
Basically, I feel that the acting was incredibly poor, and there was no action. And, not only in one point, the adult actors, some of them were bad, but he was marveling at the fact that monks could, meditate for 3 days on end. I would have understood if he's these are the magical monks. They can meditate for an entire year, but it's just 4 days.
And when did it...
Some sort of close-up.
I know, and when did airbending and stuff like that suddenly turn into the Zumba?
Yeah, all the airbending and the water bending and the rock bending, it was awful in this movie.
It looks it looked like they were doing the freaking Zumba.
Yeah, I know, 3 guys airbending, and what did they do?
Shooting farts.
They were there was this moment where 3 guys just were doing this awesome dance, and they did backflips and stuff. And what came out of this? The tiniest pebble. You could pick up this pebble in one hand and hold it.
It doesn't seem very efficient. If you have to do a convoluted dance to pick up a pebble when you can toss it twice the distance with a hand.
Dude, you know what I would do though? This is kind of off topic, but if I had airbending powers, you know exactly what I would do? I would fart and then trap that fart and throw it at my enemies.
Line them with your flatulence. That would be wonderful, and that definitely would have added at least some comedy to the movie, so it would have been standable.
Yeah.
But instead they tried to pull it off as serious. Their CGI was made by a 3rd grader, and all the action in there barely even happened.
They literally, half of those kids were in the movie just because they were giving head to the director.
Yep.
Even the ending. Go ahead, Connor.
My biggest thing is the whole thing about the trailer being epic. It's along the same lines of putting boobs on your YouTube thumbnail, and it's just this fat guy talking for 30 or 45 minutes at a time. Where are the tits?
That's misleading. They can probably ban you too.
Did they?
They really should just have not aired the movie. They weren't going to put out the
misleading.
Hey, was there a dragon in the cartoon series?
Not that I know of. There was
a dragon in the freaking
Appa.
movie. There was a dragon in the movie that talked to him in his dreams.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's weird as fuck. Oh.
Okay. I'll give The Last Airbender 2 out of 5 stars just because I like action movies, and it had somewhat action.
I'll give it 3 because the show is actually pretty good.
The show is pretty good.
All right, fine. We'll give it 3 stars.
I'm giving it a 1 out of 5 stars because the cartoon is good, but I have no sympathy for the movie.
Yeah, they completely ruined it.
Let's move on to Connor's favorite topic, movie 43. What did you say earlier, Connor? I think it was, and I quote, I'm gonna rip movie 43 a new hole.
That movie was stupid.
Okay, so movie 43, it's basically a little kid's dream. The comedy in there is basically the equivalent of somebody for 3.5 hours going, hey guys, guess what? What? Penis.
Penis.
Literally, I think one of the opening skits of their things was a guy with testicles on his chin.
Yeah.
And the woman was trying to politely not acknowledge the fact that he has chins, and he was going about it convolutedly.
Yeah.
She was expecting him to come out and just kind of ask him about it, but no. Finally, she freaks out and he flips his shit, and it's not at all funny.
Yeah. I think I have to admit though, my favorite skit though that they did was the one about the kid that was homeschooled. And the mom and dad have to kiss him because the mom kisses him so he can have his first kiss, and then the dad kisses him to see if he's gay.
I don't remember that part. Yeah. Basically, equivalently, it was a movie full of sex jokes that weren't funny to anyone.
I didn't really like it in general. Hey guys, let's do a bunch of childish, immature skits.
Let's put all these celebrities these kids probably heard of and put stupid ideas together.
Yeah, exactly.
There were famous people in that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Tons.
Who?
Basically,
I'll look up the casting.
I didn't know there were famous
If I can
people in that piece of
remember.
crap. I didn't know that there were like, what are they
One
like?
was Halle Berry.
Emma Stone, Kate Winslet.
it was a really horrible movie, especially for the fact that some people loved it. Like they were gigantic.
Yeah, like
production.
Yeah,
I watched
know,
it
like
on-
tons of kids at our school, as I said before, just loving this movie.
I thought it was.
One of my good friends was a major fan
It turned
of this,
out to
which
be
I don't
like-
understand.
I didn't like expect it at all to turn out to be like a bunch of skits. Like when they showed it at previews, it looked like an actual movie.
And in
There's-
the end, it was
Well,
like some
it had
sort of,
story. It had a story, and the story is stupid.
yeah, it was
A
basically
freaking
the
stupid producer wanting. It was his ideas. All the skits you were looking at were
Yeah.
his ideas.
Christian Bale was in this movie.
Christian
Jesus.
Bale.
Halle Berry was in the movie.
Oh, I like.
Yeah, she was.
All right,
I have
I
a feeling the head director of this movie was a 12-year-old kid who was just learning about
Alright.
puberty.
all right,
So he
I
decided to make fun
alright.
of the
I,
balls and homosexuality and just about any single thing.
all right.
that
I
just
like.
made the
I
little
don't
kid
like the
laugh.
movie. I don't like the movie, but I do
Go
like
from-
two
Go
skits
from
for the movie.
I couldn't find myself to. I couldn't sit through the entire thing.
Did you watch the Batman and Robin one? That one was pretty. That one made me laugh. That one and the homeschooled kid one. Those are the only two things I liked about the movie.
I have basically erased that entire movie from my mind, so I don't remember any of the skits.
Dang.
Yeah. Like, even right when you see the first sketch, you know what kind of movie this is gonna be.
The
Yeah.
moment I watched it, I was like completely unimpressed. I'm like, you're not even gonna try to be original here. You're gonna try
Yeah.
to pull Robot Chicken and just make overly unacceptable jokes that are
Yeah.
incredibly nasty.
Balls on the chin. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Did
balls
they
got
do-
in his spaghetti.
Didn't they do that on South Park?
Serious?
I have no idea, but dude, we had to sit there. If anybody realized, you had to sit there for 30 minutes watching a guy eat soup and people trying to dance around the topic that he has testicles on his chin. So you basically sit there the entire time looking at testicles on a man's chin.
Yay.
All right.
I'm
I'm gonna give this movie a 2.5 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 0.5.
I'm going to flat out say 0 out of 5. One of the worst movies I've seen.
Well, critics hated it, of course. I looked it up, and it's like 4.3. There's a 3.8, even a 2. I'm gonna give it a 2.6
I
out
felt
of 5.
like this movie was short.
It
It
feels
didn't
well.
make any sense.
Yeah, it did feel kind of short, which is even more pathetic because the sketches weren't even good in themselves.
And I thought it had so much hype in the commercials too.
Yeah, definitely have a lot of hype.
I thought with my everybody talking about it and how funny it was, I was expecting it to actually be some sort of comedic feat, but instead it was just,
Yeah.
sixth grader's dream.
All right, guys. Let's move on to yet another movie that got a bunch of hype and it just fell flat. Okay, and that movie is Avatar.
Oh yes,
You guys all know the movie Pandora with the
I
blue
had
aliens.
Nothing wrong with that movie. I mean, it's okay. It's not like horrible.
My only problem was they were trying to make it like anything that you throw, whatever the Cameron dude's name is. Anytime you throw his name,
M. Night Shyamalan?
yeah, and
Shyamalan.
James Cameron or whatever.
Oh, well, yeah, there's James Cameron and M. Night Shyamalan. I think M. Night Shyamalan directed it.
Well, everybody's just like, the moment you throw James Cameron's name on something, it's going to be obviously important. But basically, they tried to make shooting aliens in the face a whole bunch of
Yeah.
times into some sort of thing where it's a moral issue killing
Yeah,
these
this is
things.
what it
Because they're
basically
actually
was.
people and they're elegant creatures.
This is basically exactly what it was. It was basically back in when we were moving Native Americans onto different settlements. That's what it basically was, except the Native Americans were blue with tails.
Oh, shit, guys, sorry. M. Night Shyamalan did Avatar The Last Airbender, not Avatar. As in with Navis.
Yes.
My apologies.
So, my biggest problem is that they tried to make it on the same moral plane as the Americans taking over the Indians, except on a planetary scale, so that way it seems abstract, and all of a sudden they
Yeah.
seem like they have a deep, nice plot line. Deep,
There
rich
was a
plot line.
movie. There was a movie. I can't remember the name right off the top of my head. I'm gonna remember later. I swear to God. But It's the exact same plot as Avatar. That's what it is. And Avatar basically just copied off of it. It was made back in like I want to say the 70s, 80s, but it's got the exact same plot.
Yeah. Alright, so overall, just because of the beautiful CGI,
Yeah.
the great, pretty decent acting, I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Alright. Hold on. Something I want to say before like we rate it. Okay,
I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, that the one part where they're all at like the Mother Earth tree or something like that, and the guy and the chick start going at it, and she's like, "We're mating, Jake." I wanted to be like, "Yeah, no, duh." Can you feel it yet? I mean, you want me to go deeper? I mean, yeah, we're mating. This is happening.
If you guys ever played this game, really quick before you move on or the video ends, A Lost Planet. That's what Avatar really reminded me of. I'm not saying that, of course, copied Lost Planet entirely, but like with the mechs and the universe, it looked a lot like Lost Planet 2, and the movie was decent. When I first heard about it had tons of hype, tons of money went into this movie, but it just seemed boring. It didn't seem abstract enough. Although it was good, it did have some disappointments on it.
Yeah.
You have to admit, it was beautiful, beautiful graphics.
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely.
I'm gonna have to side with Connor and go with a 4 out of 5.
My only problem was it was trying to seem deeper than it was, and I think it should have had a different type of plot.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden the aliens were the enemies, and this guy's just like, oh, I'm gonna suddenly become one with the aliens. Fuck my own mind.
It's basically just one of those things where, like, the guy is sent in to do a mission, and then he ends up befriending them and becoming one of them.
The only reason why why I'm not giving this a 5 out of 5 is because the movie tries to act like that pretentious rich kid.
Yeah, it tries to...
Look at me, I'm really important, and I'm like super deep in everything, brah.
Yeah.
It tries to add those emotional moments and those sappy moments, but you really can't feel that with this movie, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the director's fault.
Yeah, they did the action scenes amazingly. I liked all the fighting, the combat, watching all those freaking alien bird things walking around.
Yeah.
When it came to the sentimental stuff and the sappy, oh no, everybody's gonna die, but I love you, you're kind of stuff. They just failed.
Yeah.
They didn't manage to stick it.
And that part when he goes to friggin' pick the bird thing that he wants to ride, and he's like, I don't know if it chooses me. She's like, it's gonna try and kill you. He just goes out there. What if they all just swarmed him because they were hungry?
I would love if they would have just ripped him to bits because I would have started laughing. It's just like it's like a freaking swarm of birds just start ripping him like flesh straight from his bones. He starts dying. She's screaming her head off because he's just like getting destroyed. It would have been funny because like no, and he's just like dying.
Two birds grab his arms and legs, and just pull him apart.
They start flying away from the place like they're pterodactyls.
Yeah.
It would have been funnier if you would have saw like those birds, like just one rams and the other head on. Just like whoops. It's like they weren't watching where they were going. They just like straight into each other. That would have been
great. Everybody else just watching horrified. There's just blood everywhere.
It's like all the aliens just start killing each other. That would have been funny. Like all of a sudden it's just like civil war amongst them.
Yeah.
And like the humans are just watching in horror as they're ripping each other apart. They just kind of like slowly leave the planet because they're like, nope, not a part of this shit. I'm out.
Yeah. Shoot down the tree.
I could have sworn that Eddie's fried chicken blinked at me a second ago. I was staring at it. I could have swore the freaking Nicolas Cage blinked at me. But regardless, do we have any other movies on the platter?
No, but why is that all the blue people were just automatically just black people painted blue? Like that's what all the aliens seemed like to me. They were just automatically black people painted blue.
Here's my thing. It was a symbolism for the Americans taking over the Indian land. That's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
It was supposed to be symbolic for racial injustice or something, and that's why I didn't like it. They tried to make it some sort of convoluted moral teaching lesson when it was just a big old giant shoot 'em up movie.
Yeah, it's like if you want to make those a movie with those kind of messages, you don't need action every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You don't need a world with pretty colors.
You want to make those movies? You go to freaking Disney, man.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. But anyways, my biggest problem is like instead of freaking having like blow them all up, you should have shown like the menace that those human beings actually were or something.
Yeah,
or
like
show how
Yeah.
how peace mongering.
Look at what you
zombies
did to
guys
this.
were.
Look at what you did to my child. You raped her and pillaged our land.
Yeah, like okay, so we're gonna come in here and we're gonna exploit this entire planet for its oil, so that way we can make big bucks. But no, they're just like, we're all gonna shoot at each other and try to look like we're really deep, rich plot line when we're just fucking shooting at each other with pretty graphics.
Yeah.
It's essentially Call of Duty.
In reality, though, they should have, just to make it a little bit more darker, they could have had like maybe the general rape one of them.
Jesus,
No.
Kyle.
no.
Kyler,
Well, that's what they did back when they were moving the
Kyler,
Indians.
Kyler, that's my biggest problem with any movie is if it has a tacky rape scene. Rape is not necessary, especially not to prove a point. Honestly, it just comes across as like it makes you feel greasy inside as you're watching a rape scene because you're like, wow, this is nasty. Like slime is gathering around your skin, and the director should kill himself. So either way, I feel like they should have either picked deep, rich plot line or gigantic, pretty shoot 'em up.
Yeah. I
Alright,
still say if you're gonna go with the thing with freaking like racial stuff, like what we did with the Indians and stuff, you leave that kind of crap up to Disney. You let Disney make those movies.
Kyler, Disney doesn't make hardcore racial injustice
Yeah, they
films.
do. They did with Pocahontas.
Yeah, sort of. But that was about it. Otherwise, it's just princesses and happy.
And they
endings.
did with Princess and the Frog.
Why do
That's
they
just-
black people
No,
frogs?
they didn't.
Kyler,
Yeah.
they really did. Unless you're just trying to like. Be
What the
like,
hell are you talking about? There was no racial segregation whatsoever in Princess of the Frog.
Kyler, you're just going full retard.
Yeah, no, but they did a lot of it in Pocahontas.
Not really.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Honestly, not that much.
Have you guys seen Pocahontas?
Unless you're one of those retarded people who are like, you gotta really analyze the plot, man. You gotta look deeply in it, and it is just really just a fucking singing frog.
You don't understand, man.
I'm talking about Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Pocahontas, it sort of shows it. It shows the
It really
struggles
does
of
because the white people come in and try and take over the Native American land. And stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like, then the one guy falls in love with him and stuff like that. And nobody accepts him because of it.
That's pretty much it. It's the only movie that Disney's ever made with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one thing, and you're trying
And
to.
besides, Pocahontas is a princess as it is,
Mhm.
so it doesn't really feel right. She's
I'd
classified as a princess.
Yeah.
like to.
Basically, it's a.
I'd
they're
like to
kids
get a
show
couple.
that
I.
Just. Shh.
Okay, so
Just shh.
all right, guys. So
Tyler, put the dunce hat in and sit in the corner of the room.
I'll beat you
What
later.
about Star Wars?
What?
Disney and Star Wars.
What the fuck are you talking about, Eddie?
Disney and Star Wars.
You're
He's
making
talking
fun
about.
of Kyler for being retarded. You're
Wait.
about Star Wars.
Wait, what are you saying, Eddie? Like seriously?
Yes.
Princess Leia. What's
What
gonna
about
happen?
Princess
Are they gonna change her?
Okay, okay, I understand you're
What?
talking about. I understand you're talking about Disney now, Eddie. But what the hell does Princess Leia have to do with
I don't-
Disney
wait.
Star Wars? I
You said
understand
something
Princess
about-
Leia's in
you're like,
Star
what about
Wars.
Star Wars?
Wait,
You're
are
talking
you-
about princesses.
Why
but-
did-
I'm
why
talking about
why does
segregation.
why does
Eddie,
Oh,
okay, let me
jeez.
explain to you exactly what your dialogue happened.
Okay, I think I know.
You said, okay, what
Never
about
mind.
what about the Star Wars? And Miles is like, what? And you're like, but what about her?
What will happen?
why does
Broke
Disney
down
even
into autism.
why does Disney why was Disney so eager to own Star Wars? Are they like gonna make a new movie or?
Because Art's not doing anything with
I'm
it.
sure
because
unless
Disney is
unless Disney kept being greedy bastards, Walt Disney would roll over in his grave. I'm sure he's probably
Sorry.
dying. He's probably dying of anger that it's no longer
Yeah, I know.
racist.
He's probably mad up in heaven about what his company has come to. Greedy little greedy little bastards.
Alright, guys, so, any more movies, any more shit on the silver platter for us?
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Or, no. That just doesn't even deserve speaking of.
Time for toys and time for cheer.
But guys, let's make a movie about chipmunks that makes every single adult want to kill themselves with a gun.
Have you guys seen? Have you guys seen what they did with the Alvin and the Chipmunks on Robot Chicken?
No, but I really don't want to.
All right, well I'll save it for another time because we're kind of veering off the topic of what this video was even about. So I think we should just end it here.
Yes.
We're going on. Okay, we're going on 45 minutes strong, so yeah, this is a good spot to end it. We need to definitely do one of these again because this was really enjoyable.
All right, well, this is the New Age Podcast signing off.
All right, see you guys later. Bye. 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 Yummy Tony Chan.